2018 Kia Rio Hatchback Review. Pros: 7-year warranty. Practical. Plenty of ordinary kit. Cons: dull drive. Not cheap enough. Doesn't differentiate themselves from its rivals. The Kia Rio is often a competent supermini which performs reasonably well in most area. However, against class-leading rivals, for example the Nissan Micra, Volkswagen Polo as well as the outgoing Ford Fiesta, the Rio struggles to face out. It doesn't hold the sense of fun observed in the Micra, the standard and ride comfort from the Polo and the drive with the Fiesta, plus it's not priced low enough for making up for just about any of these shortfalls. However, for most drivers its long warranty, good equipment levels and useful practicality mean it is going to serve the purpose of having from A to B perfectly well. Good levels of normal equipment. One in the Rio's strongest suits could be the level of ordinary kit on all trim levels. Even base spec 1 cars reap the benefits of luxuries like Bluetooth phone connectivity, aircon and hill start assist. The main disappointment is the advanced precautionary features, including autonomous emergency braking, aren't standard throughout the entire range, potentially harming Euro NCAP safety scores for lower spec cars. Mixed bag of engines and gearboxes. Unlike the Kia's obvious to see trim levels, all the different engines is quite a bit more confusing. There's either 4 petrols as well as diesels, many of which are already largely carried over on the previous generation Rio. The pick in the bunch would be the 100 horsepower 1.0-liter petrol, but even so it's not class-leading on account of dim-witted responses along with a harsh top end in the rev range. 7-year warranty. As operating Kias, the Rio gains advantage from a 7-year or 100,000 mile whichever comes first warranty, which can be transferable between owners. This could be the only area in which the Rio really shines from its rivals, yet should ensure excellent all-round reliability. More: continue watching the entire Kia Rio review by going to the driving section. Wide number of petrol and diesel motors available. Lower output 1.0-liter petrol. The pick in the range. Choice of 5 or 6-speed manuals and also a 4-speed auto. The Kia Rio range features 6 engines, 3 petrols and a couple of diesels, plus 3 different gearboxes, a 5 or 6-speed manual and also a 4-speed automatic. Petrol power. The most favored configuration within the UK is anticipated to be the 84 horsepower 1.25-liter 4-cylinder engine together with the 5-speed manual gearbox. It's acceptable for driving out, yet for motorways runs one with the punchier engines within the range could well be advisable. Next up can be a pair of 1.0-liter 3-cylinder turbocharged motors using a power production of 100 horsepower and 120 horsepower. Both sound pleasingly sporty, pull well from the gears and supply ample quantities of torque to get a car on this size. Overtaking isn't an issue either due to a generous SP watch of power along the higher revs of every gear. The negative thing is that both engines are slow to react at low revs. That produces nipping in and out of city traffic a hard task. Customers may be tempted through the extra 20 horsepower on the more powerful 1.0-liter, but we'd stick while using a 100 horsepower version. It feels just like punchy from the real world. There's only half a second within the 060 miles per hour times, and, for individuals, could be the best engine inside range. The only detractor is the fact it's on a 5-speed manual gearbox, unlike the 120 horsepower version which comes using a 6-speed transmission. The largest petrol from the on offer may be the 99 horsepower 1.4-liter 4-cylinder. It comes while using added benefit from being the sole engine available with 2 choose gearboxes, sometimes a 6-speed manual or perhaps a 4-speed auto. Bear under consideration though that picking the latter will raise the 060 miles per hour time from 11.8 seconds to 13.4. There's additionally a considerable efficiency penalty that we've detailed inside green credentials section. Diesel engines. Customers following a diesel-powered Rio hold the option of any 77 horsepower or perhaps a 90 horsepower 1.4-liter engine, both fitted with 6-speed manual gearboxes as standard. Each engine has an identical 240 Nm of torque, allowing the Rio to tug well at low to medium speeds. However, once approximately 70 miles per hour, the higher output 90 horsepower version sets out to struggle. Overtaking needs a change into fourth gear, plus the engine needs to become worked for getting any real rise in speed. For this reason, drivers who spend time and effort on motorways could be better served by one in the more powerful petrol models. Safe and predictable but not even close to exciting, provides adequate grip and composure. Safe and stable may be the name from the game in relation to the Rio's handling. Grip and composure through corners is adequate. The car never feels agile enough to supply any driver enjoyment. One of the biggest problems could be the lack of feel and sensitivity within the steering, especially round the straight-ahead positon. Move the leader a few degrees left or right and there's little to suggest leading wheels have responded accordingly. It's most certainly not dangerous or off-putting, yet removes any kind of precision inside the steering. This is okay at very fast, but superminis, for example the Ford Fiesta, demonstrate that agile handling needn't come for the expense of instability or overly twitchy steering. Move past this issue as well as the Rio has nicely weighted steering as well as a firm, however, not overly so, chassis setup, letting it tackle potentially hazardous mid-corner bumps without difficulty. The turning circle is a good example for city driving, and also the overall footprint with the car feels compact on the driver's seat. Easy to have comfortable due to wide variety of adjustments, slick manual gearboxes as well as an impressive infotainment system. Not particularly exciting or interesting, however this is among Kia Rio's better areas because of a good variety of adjustability inside the driving position, an extraordinary infotainment system and simple to use controls. It's not particularly interesting or inspiring. The overall functionality is great and there's little inside the way of cheap filling plastics. Unlike many superminis, the Rio provides a comprehensive amount of reach adjustment inside the steering wheel to match drivers of all sizes. Couple this with a few comfy and supportive seats and it's easy to have settled inside Rio. All the switchgear, while not especially premium feeling, features a pleasant weightiness to its actions, while all of the buttons are all too easy to locate and clearly labeled. The manual gearboxes have a smooth and consistent action, never feeling notchy or unpleasant. The touchscreen infotainment strategy is fast as well as simple to operate. Scrolling through phone contacts or stations is done particularly well and works, being a premium iPhone. The main letdown could be the digital display amongst the dials. It's clear enough, nevertheless the black and white color palette feels old-fashioned as compared to brighter offerings inside the Rio's rivals. Plus, like all kinds of other Kias, there's absolutely nothing to indicate what speed the cruise control is preset to. Respectable ride quality and refinement levels in petrol Rio's noisy diesel engine spoil the party, however avoid larger 17-inch wheels available on first edition models. The Kia Rio boasts reasonable comfort and refinement levels because of supportive seats as well as a competent ride quality. In particular the 1.0-liter petrol engines are hushed and unobtrusive at cruising speeds, only sounding harsh and unsightly if they're revved hard. Cars fitted with all the 1.4-liter diesel unit are less impressive, however, using a loud thrum making its way in the cabin under even light acceleration. Smooth ride quality takes the sting off sharp bumps impressively, yet is vulnerable to jiggling around on all nevertheless the flattest road surfaces. It's not jarring with the passengers, yet includes the Rio lags behind the course leaders in this region. For the top comfort, stay away from the 17-inch alloys within the first edition model and stick using the 15 and 16-inch wheels with the lower trim levels. Extensive range of normal kit even on basic trim level grade 2 and upwards features advanced safety tech as standard. There's 3 main specification levels for that Rio, including things like 1, 2 and 3. There's a limited run launch edition trim which sits above 3. Equipment levels are generous along the range as well as the base 1 spec advantages of aircon, front electric windows, remote locking, electrically adjustable heated door mirrors, a 3.8-inch monitor, Bluetooth phone connectivity, automatic headlights and hill start assist. Upgrade to 2 spec and also the kit list grows to add in 15-inch alloy wheels, a leather-trimmed controls and gear stick, electric folding mirrors, DAB radio, a 5.0-inch infotainment screen, rear parking sensors plus a reversing camera, back and front USB charging ports, cruise control with speed limiter, autonomous emergency braking and lane departure warning. High-spec 3 cars get 16-inch alloy wheels, climate control, black faux leather upholstery, 7-inch touchscreen infotainment display with sat-nav, heated front seats and leader, rain-sensing windscreen wipers, rear side and rear window privacy glass, Android Auto and Apple CarPlay connectivity plus Bluetooth with voice recognition. Launch edition car is built within the extensive spec with the 3 car with 17-inch alloys, keyless entry and keyless ignition, steel pedals, black and red faux leather upholstery and LED rear lights. Kia keeps it simple together with the extras. As with all of Kia's, the Rio keeps the optional extras into a minimum. Standard optional paint shirt is charged at £250 per shade, increasing to £495 for premium paint. The advanced driving assistance pack including autonomous emergency braking and lane departure warning is standard from trim grades 2 and upwards, which enable it to also be suited to grade 1 cars for £350. The South Korean manufacturer tends to add in everything the buyer will need from the standard equipment in the trim, the thought being commemorate the shopping process easier for customers. Only 3 stars from Euro NCAP crash test. Only rises in order to 5 with optional safety equipment when tested this year. The 3rd generation Rio was awarded the most 5-star rating and performed particularly well in adult and child protection, 2 areas this generation of model also performs well in. However, in standard form Euro NCAP only awarded it 3 stars. Ramping as much as 5 for Rios furnished with automatic emergency braking ebb and lane departure technology. However, since some with the advanced security measures are not standard on base spec cars, expect the crooks to score below their pricier counterparts. Good quantities of room on offer inside the front and back. Luggage capacity compares well against most rivals. Plenty of storage space in the cabin. The Rio's boot and interior space both are commendable, with sufficient room for 2 normal-sized adults to install into the spine. However, their overall amounts of comfort depend largely about how tall those from the front are, so bear this in mind when you're sizing in the Rio. 3 children will fit from the back seats with no problems, although realize that there are only 2 ISOFIX points. Boot space is competitive, and even if it can't match cars like the Honda Jazz, the 325-liter luggage capacity is a lot more than adequate. The space itself can be a good, useful shape which enables it to be increased by folding the standard 60 hours 40 minutes split rear seats down. Unfortunately, the seats don't fold completely flat, making loading long items tricky. There's plenty of storage area in and across the cabin that has a good-sized glove box and 4 cup holders inside front. Annoyingly, though, The handbrake is defined too near the central cup holders, meaning it's very easy to end up pawing on the lid within your coffee rather than activating the handbrake.